Alright, so I've had time to do more work on integrating the Color MFA into the TT Mark II's cluster. It's not in there properly, it's just placed in there, but let's give it a go and start it up. Mind all the errors, this is on a test car and it's missing a lot of parts, as you can see. It's bringing up a whole bunch of washer fluid errors, tail lights, front lights because they're not connected. So I'll just have to scroll through all of those. It gives you all your warnings as it starts up, but once you've pressed OK on them, you can get to the main screen and scroll through. So you can see all the different values that you can have as your main screen. There's quite a lot of them there. It's really, really nice. Boost pressure, especially for those turbo cars. It's all pretty self-explanatory. I'm just using the wiper stalk here to control the main screen. When you press the underneath button, which is usually the enter or your menus screen button, to get into the main menu of Color MFA. In there are even more settings, so you can measure a whole bunch of different things. This is good for when you're doing like a sprint, i.e. drag race. You got different graphs that you can watch and log in live. So it's like a little line graph here that logs it, and you can watch the line going up and down as it reads those values live. It's really, really cool. Gauges is one of my favorite views. So there's different gauges here that you can watch, and there's a G-force meter if you want that, and that's all live as well. You've seen the other videos where I was driving slowly, how they all function, and they all function really nicely. This is just to show how I've managed to get it into where it needs to belong and not just hanging out outside the housing. Obviously there's diagnostics. You can check all your measuring blocks there. This is like having VCDS in your cluster. No need to, go and see someone or take it to the mechanic to get a scan anymore. You can just dig through the menus. You can read your faults. Go right in there, it tells you what's wrong. So obviously there's nothing there. That's why it's telling no HVAC. You can clear it, and they should clear if you've got nothing wrong. Obviously that's not going to go away, and you can read all the relevant measuring blocks for that value. So there's a lot of information at your hands when you've got Color MFA. You can see here, I'm just going through real quickly, but basically you can watch all of these measuring blocks as you're driving, especially good if you're trying to troubleshoot. You can graph all of those as well. Hold on, let's have a look. So say I wanted to watch, let's go to the boost one, 114. I don't know what half of these measuring blocks are, but I know here we can see, it's not there. Okay, and let's go to one that shows maybe knock. Something like this. So you can watch all these live. I think these are the injector values, maybe. Yep, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when the car's running, you can watch them, all these values live. You can also choose to graph these values. So you put a little check mark. Sorry, that's a little bit off screen. Next to the values that you want to watch, and you press graph, and that'll line graph it. And you can watch that live as you're driving as well. Oops. Let's go back. And I'll just show you some customizations that you can do on the interface, which is really nice. So we go to design. Background, you can change your background Not sure if you can really see it taking effect here, but there's several different backgrounds that you can choose from. Let's go with open cell. Main color, you can choose it all to be red theme, green theme, blue theme, orange theme, or white. Let's go with red. Since the needles are red and everything, it'll have a nice match. Main screen, here you can turn off the icons, so you just have the different values. I like to have them on because it reminds me what exactly I'm looking at. You can have your audio data here. Big speed, that has your speed in the middle of the screen in big print rather than in small print. And then you can change the values here. So this is customizing that home screen with the small values. I'll refer back to it in a bit, but you can put pretty much everything that you scroll through in these little icons or these little parameters. It's really handy, so you can see exactly what's going on. This middle one is your gear assignment. Just changes the design a little bit. Have your talk there, and then let's say we'll want boost here. Okay, so what that does is changes everything on the main menu. So going from top to bottom, left to right, there's oil, I believe that's oil level, you got your battery voltage, and then oil temp, and then on the right is the torque, there's two cogs, fuel level, and then boost gauge. In the middle you've got the gear that's selected. There's your big speed, and everything else is pretty self-explanatory. There's a lot that you can do with the Color MFA, and this is really cool now that I've worked with the developer to be able to get it running in this platform. So really excited to get this onto my actual running car and have it in there as an option for you guys to upgrade.